families come to us with a lot of complexity. There needs to be clear direction. So when you have all these moving parts, family members are wearing many hats. And so clients, families come to us when they're recognizing that those challenges are really getting in the way of healthy relationships and the functioning of the enterprise. A lot of times families will come to us and say, we've done all this work, we're having all these meetings, and there's no follow through on the things that we've been talking about. And so that family accountability aspect, we call it air traffic control, whoever's doing the air traffic control in the family, but it's really understanding how all these various entities across the enterprise are working, how the various family members are doing within the context of all these activities, and then having some sequencing and prioritization and follow through on the things that have been discussed, including the communications across the family.
What does success end up looking like for you to walk away and say that family is set up well, RayLine's done its job? What does that look like from start to finish?
It's really a constant work in progress. When we think about these families and we think about generational well-being, we ask them, what does generational well-being mean to you? Which is a good starting point, right? Part of that relates to continuity. So this idea of continuity, it meaning both structural continuity and the relationship piece. The human development part of it is also extremely important too. So what are we doing all this for? Isn't it really about the family members and the human aspect of this? And to be explicit about making sure that they're well in the context of all these things that are happening to them, and the ability to actually put financial capital to support their development and their engagement. When you start to see those continuity, human development, and the communications piece really working, that's what this is all about.
I think that's really interesting. And I mean, from my seat, working with high net worth families on their investment pieces, it's what do you want to accomplish? Then we back into what's the best way to do it from there. The financial capital support the human capital. So, generational well-being, what happens when that isn't present? What does that look like? What does that family look like?
Yeah, I mean, when it's not present, there's lack of directional clarity, which is extremely important. That when that doesn't exist, that really impacts the ability to support well-being. Those relational dimensions that we've been talking about as well, right? So when they're not being addressed and they're not being acknowledged, that really becomes resentment and ongoing kind of challenges. The third piece is really when you don't have the right advisors along the ride with you. And then the accountability part, when there's really, we all leave a room and everyone just goes their separate ways and there's really no follow through and no ownership. Multiply that by enterprise level activities and you have a mess if you don't have that standard of operating.
Yeah, it sounds like that the business of being a family is going to happen whether you're intentional about it or not. And so having the agenda, having, follow-up, having next steps, having accountability, just help you're along for this train ride or not. And so you can steer the train or ride it blindly, I guess.
One has to have players in your life who support your commitment to quality, support your values, support your interest in empathy and caring about the people, or else it doesn't work. It's such a great thing to be here with BBR and having known the firm for so many years. Well, this was great. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.